Okay, this is Walter at ibwsales.biz, and I'm showing you today how to assemble the CF111 mini pistol crossbow. Now first you got your kit. Of course this was plastic wrapped. I took it off to save us some time. It's going to include the 3 arrows. They used to include 5. Now, sorry, they only include 3. These are Taiwan made, and you're going to really like this crossbow. It's going to include a parts kit. In that kit, you're going to find the bow tips, 2 of them. A bow string, of course. An Allen wrench for assembly. This is like a block that holds the bow in place, and an Allen screw to set the bow in place. Now I like to start with pulling the frame out of here and getting the frame, getting it assembled. I start with putting the set screw in and getting it down to where it's just nearly sticking through the other side here. Now, thread the bow through. You don't have to be too careful right now about the placement of the bow, centering it. You'll once you snug this a little bit, you'll be able to do a better job at that. Okay, and that's just snug. And now I'm going to get this nicely centered and set the screw down tight. Okay, now the bow tips, these have the notches that hold the strings. I haven't found that there's any front or back to these. They just go either way on either side. No left, no right. They snap right into place like that. Okay. Now the string, it comes with a little wax on it, but I like to add some wax to it before I start the assembly. It gets it nice and waxed up, because you're going to see that the wax is pretty critical to the operation of this bow. Get some on there. I like to get some on the string. And then I get a little on the tips, on the loops here. That makes my fingers nice and waxy, but I think I can continue this without my fingers slipping or anything. Okay, I'm gonna slip this onto one side of this, and then I'll move this out of the way. And I've got a block that I use. Now these bows are really stiff, and for one person to do it, it's really hard. And what you never want to do, especially, this is a Zytel frame, the plastic frames, and you don't want to use this frame for a lever. That's the one I've seen actually break. That's what was done to it. And so 2 men can do it. One can hold and bend this enough for the other one to loop it on there. But what I always use, since I do quite a few of these, as you may imagine, is I hook them on to, I have a little block that I use to bend these with. And if you build one of these, what you're going to want to do is bend, you're going to loop your string on the side that's stationary, not the side you're bending. So there we go. Nothing to it. And back off there. And you've got your assembled crossbow. Now, the reason for this wax is that you'll find that when this string is supposed to be released, if it's dry and it's hung in this channel, you're going to get a real stiff trigger and not be able to fire it. So let me show you while we're at it. I'll show you the cocking and loading of this thing. So we take it off safety, pull back. You're going to push this back forward. If you forget that, these things will be driven by the string up and crack it'll make a little chip on the side of this frame. So it doesn't hurt the bow really, but it does chip the frame there. Now, to load an arrow into this thing, you can see how this operates. It's got a notch that the string is dropped into. All the trigger does is push the string out of that notch. What would happen if I load this thing off safety is it would go back too far beyond the string. The bow won't work. It'll hit the arrow wrong. It will throw it sideways, all kind of crazy stuff. But if you put it on safety when you load your arrow, that places the arrow perfectly every time, and you'll really enjoy this product. Okay, so if you need one of these, it's ibwsales.biz.